Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Red Valkyrie Presents. I'm, of course, Shae the Red with my amazing co-host, Cyborg Valkyrie. How you doing?
I'm doing awesome. You sound a little far from your mic for some reason.
Because you bitch all the time that I'm too fucking close to it.
Get closer.
Ass.
That's it. I'm getting right up on mine.
Please.
It's like one of those two where it's like, no, back, no, forward.
Yeah, no. You know what? It is what it is.
Hi, Shae.
Oh my gosh. Pull it out of your ass and talk like a normal person.
If I could speak that clearly out of my ass,
That would be impressive.
we would have more subscribers.
Well, we are here with Meir from Ballad of the Celestials. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, doing great. Nice holiday weekend.
Yeah,
That's always nice.
Yeah. Glad that we were able to get you on. I know that we were talking about trying to get you on for a bit. Of course, as always, we're booked a little bit far out, so a lot of people are getting into us when they're in demand. But you know what? It's okay, because I think it's going to be a good show, despite the fact that half my cosplay fell apart. And I'm still bitter about it. I'm actually peeling like paint off of me right now.
Oh my god.
It's great. So are we gonna do this slightly lackluster cosplay reveal? I'm only incredibly bummed. It's fine.
It's fine. Hold on. I have a drum roll somewhere.
No, okay.
Is that the old drum? Oh yeah, there we go. Okay.
Metamorphosis completed, sir.
Shae the Red
Has now become
awesome.
Yes. So
Yeah, that is
gender
awful.
bend on your dude. This is the piece that refuses to play nice today. It's very upsetting. As you can see, I've got some damage on the horn because it has fallen many times.
The horns are just too long. They cannot stay erect.
They don't appreciate what they are placed on, but whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, we're sorry about that. That is harder to get on a shoulder.
It is, and it was going good. It was going good, and then it wasn't, and the wasn't was like 5 minutes before we rolled. So I was like, well, I guess that's it. I guess we're done.
How long does it take you to make those?
So no exaggeration, I've been working on this for 2 hours max.
I mean, it looks awesome, so I knew it was going to take long. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. I've gotten good at this, doing it quickly. The downside is things don't have time to dry. So that's foam clay, and that foam clay is very much not dry at all. So we're just gonna let that sit for the weekend and see if we can't get it dry, because I'm over here handling it. I'm covered in white paint now, trying to
Paint. Wink, wink.
If you look like this, Sai, then you need to go speak to a doctor. That's a problem.
Paint. Wink, wink.
Oh my gosh, you're 5 years old, I swear. Anywho, we're just gonna roll right past Sai being a jackass. We are here, as I had said earlier, for Ballad of the Celestials. I didn't know if you wanted to do the change thing or not.
I'm sorry, the what?
I'm talking to Sai.
She. Yay.
I meant this. I meant that thing.
You broke it.
I'm just saying. You put all this work into it and then we don't even use it. Whatever. Okay.
Whatever.
So.
It wasn't headgear. It was for her shoulder.
Yeah, it wasn't actually a mask. I just used a mask for a shoulder piece. And it would have been fine if I had started it.
If it weren't for those damn kids.
If it wasn't for those meddling teens. Sai, do we want to do the trailer now? Or do we want to do the trailer at the end? I feel like
do the trailer now.
Do you want to do it now? Okay.
Do it now.
All right, we're gonna watch your trailer, sir.
Thank you.
Before the ancient flood, continents are connected, mankind is divided, and the Celestials are perched in wait. Because of this, an evil force arises to conquer the earth. Meir and his small group of warriors encounter this evil and are thrust into a crisis that will disrupt the fate of humanity.
Nice. I don't know why, but that reminds me so much of like Cowboy Bebop or something. Like the intro to it is just kind of like, yeah, that's kind of what it feels like.
Thanks.
All right. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about Ballad of the Celestials and kind of why people should pick it up?
Well, before DC and Marvel and comic books, our superheroes were always our history, our ancestors. And this is what Ballad of the Celestials is. This takes place in our history on Earth before the Great Wide Flood kind of took Pangea and separated it into continents. So with it being one continent, all of Earth's kingdoms and cultures are very close to one another. But even though that they're physically close, even like today, they're divided for a number of reasons. And because of this division, it's kind of been able to bring this dark force back out again. This dark force was actually defeated about 2 generations prior to where we pick up the story here with Meir and his band of warriors. And the Celestials are kind of in the background right now at first. They're kind of perched, waiting to see what's going to happen because they know some things are starting to rustle around. So Meir has been this warrior that his actual ancestors, his grandfathers were big, like they were the heroes of that, war 2 generations ago. And so he kind of left home because he wasn't getting the glory or what he wanted in life. And he kind of went through all of man's kingdoms and cultures, fighting in wars and battles, kind of met all these friends from different cultures doing those wars. And once he became friends with them, they kind of decided, and by going so many places, they find that there was still remnants of that evil force 2 centuries ago. That's like this beast here is a little, little remembrance, something that kind of snuck over, and they've been hunting these creatures to eradicate them, to take them completely out. By doing this, though, especially this beast here, they find out something that changes their course of everything. And because of this, it kind of pushes them to go back to Meir's home, which is a place he doesn't want to go to. And they're being hunted now. And while they're kind of running away from one party and they get to his home, they actually intercept this evil group. I'd say they're kind of like terrorists because they believe that humans shouldn't be living in castles and kingdoms. We should be living out in the woods and stuff like animals. So they're there to just take down kingdoms. And Meir and his warriors are right there in between them to kind of stop them from being able to do that.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is that the extinction of dinosaurs didn't take completely, and these guys are like, let's kill them all. Because that's what this looks like. It looks so much like a demented dinosaur.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of different things, but even, I love and my illustrator, he's not just my illustrator, he takes part. He does a lot of character design. Mm-hmm. And I've been writing this story a long time. Lord of the Rings, the movies, really got me to start kind of creating this thing a long time ago. And then meeting Derek about 7 years ago really kind of put this into making a comic book instead of just like a novel. And, not just, DC and Marvel, as you can see behind me, all the comic books, but me and Derek, we also love mythology. And it's so interesting that mythology kind of has the same things no matter where you go, whether it's Greek mythology, Celtic, the Vikings, all the Middle Eastern ancient cultures that people don't know much about, or not as much as they know about like the Vikings or Greeks. They all have so many similar things, beast and these like monsters and giants and all these things. And, we're told that they never interacted, but yet they have so many things in common. And so this book's going to kind of go over those things. And, the Celestials is kind of their own thing, a mishmash of to try to make kind of everything make sense of what happened back then. So, and even I guess our take on dinosaurs are a little different as well. So it'll make more sense. I wouldn't say that creature's an actual dinosaur. I would say it's a mix mash of things that they're hunting there. Okay. But yes, you're right. There will be some dinosaurs, but again, we can kind of fool around with stuff, and for story, they're going to look different than like Jurassic Park dinosaurs. Like the bone structure will be similar, but like their skin and things like that, it'll be different.
So the raptors are not coming out of the forest, is what you're saying? Okay,
no, they would be coming out of something else. So and that'll be down the line. But so the dinosaurs, they're not everywhere. It's not like you could walk in the woods and there's going to be one. They're in specific places for specific reasons in the story.
Okay, very cool. And I was gonna say, I really like the look of it, especially the face. It really reminds me of like a lot of the kind of 40K monsters and stuff like that you might fight, because it's got the big box, but it's like pointy and then big horn and pointy on the top. It's a good design. It's a good design.
And Derek has a lot to do it. Like a lot of times, characters or anything, I'll say one or two things like I want this to definitely have this and this. And then he'll mock up a bunch of things, and it's like perfect. And like with this creature, I really wanted it to have a horn, just because of the battle scene in my head, but also because I have this joke in it where two of the characters, because this group's been around, they've been together for many years, so they're kind of like a family more than just like a band, and you kind of get that in war. People become family members. They actually joke with saying that this is a unicorn because it has one horn. And they're like, unicorns don't exist. We said, it's one horn, unicorn. That might have been what that was. And so things like that.
Awesome. Okay, so how many pages?
30 pages. 30 full pages of story. And then we'll have extra, probably some drafts. And we're definitely going to have like a thank you page and things like that. But 30 actual pages. There's a page that's a poem that starts off the story. So I guess 31 if you consider the poem a page.
Very cool. So you've already got pencils and inks done. Colors are.
It's even more done than that. We haven't updated it.
You realize 68% would be like here, like here-ish. Not.
Shae,
more like
are you
25%?
Hold on, Shae. Hold on. Are you busting someone's balls about numbers?
I am. I know.
Oh my God!
I'm doing your job. I don't know what happened. I got confused as to who I was.
And it's even more than 68% now. It's just, this is the first comic we've done, and we have a YouTube too. We both work full-time jobs, and I'm currently selling my house, so we're really busy right now. We're still working on our copyrights and all that, and getting the book printed. So colored right now, I'm gonna say we probably more like 90%. I think we might be waiting on like 4 or 5 pages, and then the lettering should be quick. So we're really trying to get that August deadline. We did have a hiccup. Our colorist, actually, our original colorist, he passed away about 4 weeks ago, and we had to find a new colorist. So that,
wow,
and that sucked too. I mean, we've known him for about a year, But we had a really good relationship with him, and he actually wanted to stay with us. Like he wanted
that's
to
horrible.
be a constant colorist. So in my mind, it was a huge. I mean, I'm not family with him, but both me and Derek, we were like, we're gonna have a relationship with this guy for years to be with our team, and it's just so very sad. He was only 34.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Jeez. That's terrible. I'm so sorry for that.
That's younger than us, Shae.
Derek, I was gonna bust your chops, but it doesn't. It no longer matters. Fuck, dude, that's horrible. I'm really sorry.
He just colored the lives and deaths of Wolverine. So he's working for Marvel and DC. I mean, he had a great career. And just imagine the things he would have done in the future. So
yeah, that's upsetting.
Yeah,
and
life is precious.
Creators Outlet says that's commitment, selling your house to publish your comic book.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it. Yeah, all it's going into.
Yeah, that's it. And
the comic will succeed, or you'll be in a fucking tent with your back copies.
Man, will you buy my book so I can have food?
Yeah.
Please.
Just have a really big cup for money, and you have a few comics stuffed in there. Just take a comic, leave the cash.
Pale Rider, fuck you.
Fuck you, dude.
So
Hold on.
good.
I have a video for that.
You motherfucker.
Yes. Look, I'm just saying, if you say I'm old as fuck and this is how I look, I'm okay with it.
She does look a lot better than you do, Pale Rider. I've seen you.
That's just because you're not into shirtless dudes vacuuming. All right,
that's gross.
Horrible. Okay, let's talk about the stretch goals.
Yeah, both of them have been unlocked, so everyone's getting a Meir metal card. And down the road, we do plan on actually having a card game because cards have something to do with the world. They have kind of some influence at times. It doesn't control anything, but it can add. And we would like to make that an actual game for people to kind of be. And then the out of the pictures we released, people always like the Meir of killing the beast, so that's going to be a print. That was our second goal, and so everyone's going to be getting both of those. And those are our only stretch goals that we had. Everyone we talked to, they said your first one goes super simple. Don't go crazy with additions. Don't go crazy.
Your second one, patches.
Yeah.
But your first one,
patches,
bookmarks, and
no, just patches.
Just patches. We love patches on Red Valkyrie.
Oh, I've got a video for that.
Oh no.
Where is it?
Patches O'Houlihan!
That's right, Timmy. Patches O'Houlihan.
Okay.
Look at Pale Rider doubling down. I didn't say you looked bad for your old age. Y'all look damn good for your old age. Bitch. You bitch. I am not that old.
You may look strong in your picture, but I guarantee Shae takes the high side, I take the low side. You ain't surviving. We'll beat your ass.
Oh gosh. I can't. Patches confirmed for the next campaign. See? Nice, Derek. Y'all know your audience.
Hey, we get
at least
you. We've learned from the whole won't go broke. Just do it. Whatever the customer says, do it. Doing the opposite doesn't.
Awesome. Okay, so this is October. Ooh, birthday! Sorry, my birthday's in October. I get really excited when things fulfill then. It's like a little gift for myself.
Now, are you still fulfilling on time, given the untimely passing?
With your colorist.
We plan. We've told people the end of August, so we're planning on it now. Again, the last step of the printers really is going to be to see how quick they are.
And you already have your printer selected and.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we do.
And it's not.
As long as someone
in Florida, it's not them, right?
Well, and we're always listening to other people on YouTube, so you can hear someone who's like, "Oh, I just worked with this printer and had this bat," and it's like, okay, going with someone else. So it's kind of just putting your ear to things too. to see if we need to switch or not. Or
Good
Yes,
idea.
really is. After some of the heartaches that some people have had and potential legal ramifications because of
Now, we would never suggest that someone not do business with someone because that could be tortious interference, but don't do business with them.
we don't have that kind of influence. Look, I'm just saying
I
do your
list
research.
influencer on my resume. Thank you.
That's adorable of you.
I am on Indeed as an influencer.
nice.
Wow. Yeah, for as far as some printers, because we have a lot of printers that are still citing the paper shortage, but there's a whole lot of printers that don't seem to be having a paper issue any longer. So if you're still citing a paper shortage and telling people that dents on their books ain't that big of a deal and shit like that, you probably aren't a very good printer. And people should probably avoid you. But that's just my 2 cents. Oh my gosh. Pale Rider. Pale Rider's just looking to get punched is what it is.
He is.
Oh man.
He's trying to start shit.
You can't outrun a high heel thrown at you. Very nice, I
Yes.
appreciate you. All right.
Who said it was yours?
I didn't
Okay.
I didn't say that. I said I appreciate the fact that you would do the same thing I would do, which is
Yes.
get my tallest high-heeled shoe and then chuck it.
Yes. I will get your tallest high heel shoe.
Not
and
my, no, bitch. Don't throw mine. Get your own damn shoes. All right. For like the 5th time, let's actually try and go through these perks now.
I'll shut up.
Oh, I just realized why this looks so huge is because I zoomed in so I could make the armor piece that fell apart. I might be dry by the end of this. All right, so you've got your featured perk, which is all 3 of your covers.
Mm-hmm.
And,
So our standard cover is this. What's the big one right now is the team cover of
Okay.
them all going into battle. Then the second one is an homage of oh man, what is his name now? I can't believe I forgot it. It's the Captain America cover where Captain America and Wolverine fighting.
Okay.
It's where Meir is hitting the Beast. If you go down, there's a bigger picture of that cover of the there. Yeah, so Meir is where Wolverine would be with his claws, and then the Beast would be Cap with the shield getting hit. And the color scheme, Cap's very blue and Wolverine's very orange, so it worked out really well. And why can't I think of the artist who did it? Mike Zeck. Thank you, Derek.
Mike Zeck. Nice.
Yeah,
That's why we love the chat. Obviously, Derek's on your campaign, but Sumo Thori also knew, because y'all are badass.
And then our third cover is a wraparound cover, and if you go down, I think it's our last picture we have posted. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, that's our our full I just said it too. My mind's like going 1,000 places, but our wraparound cover is that picture right there, and that's kind of a good picture of like how the comic book, the end battle scene of what's going on. So
very, very cool. All right, so that's a pretty decent deal. 45 for all 3. So what, 90 pages, because it's the same story 3 times, but that's still pretty badass.
Yeah, and again, we were listening to a lot of people, and that seems what people like the most. If people are going to buy things, have multiple covers, and so outside of that, you can get all of these covers individually. And we did a digital. I know it's not a big thing in the community, but because of shipping and everything, we wanted to make sure, if people just couldn't afford things, it was an easy way, an easy tier to get in. And everyone who gets a physical book will get the digital as well, so they can read it before they get it physically, so no one's getting it at different times. The digital goes out to everybody, digital backers and physical, all at the same time.
Very cool. And that's something that I know a lot of people get worried about piracy and things like that, but if you're going to be honest, if somebody wants to steal your stuff, they're going to steal it. Like they're going to find a way to.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate having digital because I have a shit ton of physical comics, and I love having a physical copy. I like being able to open a book and flip through the pages and kind of feel it and take my time.
Totally agree.
I'm also military and I travel a lot as a result, and I don't ever want to take any of my comics with me when I travel because I don't want them to get lost, damaged, stolen, whatever. And so being able to have digital copies at least makes it a lot easier, so I can still read those books, maybe show them to friends and family who might want to turn around and pick them up themselves, and all that kind of stuff. So I think that it's a really good move. I think that the amount of piracy that might happen with your book is probably inconsequential. And there's a lot of people who maybe pirate for a while and then either decide that they really like something and so they end up getting it physically, especially because you don't know how long you can actually keep a lot of these PDFs and stuff. A lot of stuff will stop being supported or stop, will lose off of whatever platform it's on. And so there's a lot of benefits, I think, to it, and I think that the piracy side of it is kind of negligible.
Yeah, and like you said, like we just want people to get the book in their hands. And our price point, we tried to make it for even the physical as cheap as we could without then people thinking it's a cheap product. You know what I mean? I would have went as cheap as possible to get it in people's hands, but I would have thought the same thing. Like if we sold our book for $4 on Indiegogo, I think people would just be like, well, that's not what everyone else is pricing.
Well, and
and worry about that.
Depending on whatever you put your goal at, you have a lot of people who are putting their books out for $5-10, and then their goal is $10,000. I was like, so do the math. How many books do you have to sell? And like, let's be realistic. If you look at your numbers, you got 93 backers, which is not bad for first time out the gate.
Oh yeah, no one knows us. We're total rookies.
Exactly. And you've got, almost 100 backers. That's not bad. But a lot of people are pricing themselves to a point where it's like, in order for you to even hit funding, you have to have like 600-700 backers. And then you wonder why your campaigns are failing. They're failing because how could they possibly succeed?
Oh yeah,
you've priced yourself too low. So I'm glad that you guys have considered it and had a realistic price point, so you guys could go in demand. And the first couple books, like book 1, maybe book 2, a lot of those are labors of love that are funded out of the creator's pocket. And hopefully by book 3 you start hitting the green. But
that's why selling my house and I'm going to be homeless for the next couple of years.
Exactly. Just to make sure we can fund this book. It's exactly what's happening.
But we even knew, being an ongoing series, I mean, there are a lot of people who have 90-page books that are a story in itself. And so I understand, even from a customer, that's an easier buy than an ongoing series, because this really is the first part of a 3-part story, your first act. So, we get it, but
well, and that's the thing, is you might have lower sales, first, second, and third book, but when you do that third book, you could always do a compendium that combines all of them together.
Yeah.
You could do a nicer cover, all those kinds of things, and those are things that would make people really be like, I mean, I was on the fence about it before, but like, look at how nice this is. This is a full story arc. It's contained in one book. Okay, now I'm willing to spend the money, and you can charge more of a premium for it and not have it be, looked at sideways necessarily, because it's like, well, I mean, I could have gotten them for cheaper in the individual and I didn't, and now it's all collected and it's going to cost a little more.
Yeah, and to me, I know, the number one, if number 2 or 3 or 10 makes more money, people who buy 10 is going to want to buy 1. So it's one of those things that not just selling it now, but for how long we can go. And honestly, we have a lot of story. Like, I was just writing this as a novel for years, so we can go a lot of places with it. So looking forward to it. It's fun. Being creative, I feel like there's nothing better than that. There's so much good energy, so much fun. I really recommend people Just do it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that if you have those creative juices and you got the ideas, just take a stab at it. Take a chance. What's the worst that could happen? You do it, nobody else is on board. Okay, cool. Well, at least you still did it. All right, so we've got the standard cover for 15. I've got to say, I appreciate the fact that you didn't make certain covers more expensive.
Just the wraparound's a little bit more expensive.
And it's a wraparound cover, so that makes more sense, But I hate when people are like, well, I got this artist and he cost me more, so I'm passing that cost on to the customer. I'm always like, it just feels like kind of shitty, like as a consumer. It's like, I get it and I understand, but at the same time, like, do I really want to pay all this extra just because you got like a J. Scott Campbell cover, or do I want to say fuck it and just get the actual creative team on board? So I like that you've got the main cover, you've got the homage cover, and they're both the same price, and then the wraparound cover is just slightly more, which is understandable.
We really did, like, before we did this, we listened to people. We had people even come on our YouTube to tell them the ideas we had and what we should and shouldn't do. And I actually did a whole Excel looking at your big boys, your medium people, your starter people on prices and what worked for them and what didn't. And so we just tried to do what it seemed like worked. So
very, very cool. Well, this is the one thing that I dislike about very straightforward campaigns, right? And what that is they're straightforward, so there's not a lot of questions, which means that the show ends up so much shorter. And I'm like, I don't want to wrap yet, but it's a very, like, you've done very well, first time creators coming in and just straight to the point with what your campaign offers. I would say, when you're doing campaign, 2, 3, look at having some of those little add-ons that can just get a little bit more from each backer, because you have some backers that are only going to want the book.
Yeah,
there's plenty of people that only want the book, but then you have other people who maybe they enjoyed the first book and they want to support the creative team more, and they don't want 5 copies of the same book. And so giving them the option to be like, okay, well, I can get the book and then I can do add-ons with posters, mini prints, stickers.
Oh, we did have those ideas. We just went with, everyone told it. And it's funny because we've been watching other people being successful, putting a lot of stuff on their first. And so, we really didn't go with all of the ideas we had. We did keep it simple. And so 2 will be, we have a lot of things, because especially with the world, there's a lot of different things we can do that I think would be even cool. Like, for instance, we thought of doing maps of the kingdoms and things like that, because that's kind of a big fantasy thing, and different things with creatures. And that's a thing. Original art pages. We didn't want to do it with the first book. That's a first book. You really want to give all that up, but we will have that for the second, definitely. And we actually even thought of doing different editions, because we can do something art in a different way because of what the Celestials, what they are and what they do. But again, we might wait that for the third. If we do like a 90 graphic novel, might do a different edition where it looks a little different because of what they have. So, and it's really a team book, even though Meir is kind of the front runner. All 5 of our heroes, and there'll be added more coming the second book. Mm-hmm. It really is a team. I always loved teams, like your X-Men, the Ninja Turtles. Those were always my books. So it will be team focused. Even Lord of the Rings, like Aragorn, Frodo, and Gandalf are all kind of your main characters. And so actually, if you want to go up, we have a page, kind of a little description of the 5 characters and kind of what their background is. And so because in this time in ancient culture, you didn't have hobbies. You either, you did something and that was kind of your whole life. Like if you're a carpenter, that's what you're doing. If you're an artist, that was you're doing. Well, these are warriors. So their fighting style very much goes to how they are personality-wise. So like, Meir, he's kind of your defender and your warrior, and so he's got a big battle axe where he can cut people or he can hammer them. He wants to get face to face with someone. He's your just brawler. And one thing I did with Meir is my favorite character is Wolverine. And one of the things I loved about Wolverine is since he lived so long, he has been to many different cultures, so he had different fighting styles. And Meir's been around the world, and that's why he's met his friends. And so he can fight more than just one fighting style, even though his best is just beating people down like a brawler. And so that's kind of what he is. And his second command is Zune here. She would be more from like the Asian region if you were going to put a ethnicity on her. And, like she's fierce, she's strong, she's bold, she's kind of the big sister of the group. She's the one that always keeps her head on straight, keeps everyone together, and she really does fight kind of on the movement and others. That's why out of all of them, she has a bow. She doesn't have something that's going to slash or gut someone, even though she can knock them unconscious. Under her is Chiro. He's the smallest of the group. He's the fastest, and he's the heart of the group. Everyone loves him. He's the funny guy.
I like
he's
that
the guy that's
the blade hands because he's like, I'm running so fast right
exactly.
now.
He's all on speed. That's what his fighting style is too. He's going to use his momentum because he's not strong like the rest of them. And he's the medic. He's the one that's going to do stuff for food for them. But again, he's the heart. Like they just love him. Under him is Adelburn, who you dressed up as. He's our beast master. He was always kind of the hunter of the group. Yeah. And he's the most like religious destiny type of person. So when he met Meir, he was like, big things are going to happen because I know his family. He's got a destiny, and that's how he is. And what he brings is, what they need to do when they're hunting the beast because he's an expert at it. He's done it his whole life. That was his job. And then last but not least is Sabra. He's their scout. Everyone's got to have an arrow guy. He's the only one in the battle that's not going to be with everyone else. He'll be in the trees or the brushes.
So that's just the Cyborg character. That's the Cyborg character right there.
Thank you.
I mean, that's what you choose. You first look, can be pessimistic and skeptical. Doesn't hang out with the group, kind of a loner. Sounds a little bit like a sarcastic jackass sometimes.
Yes, he is.
Cyborg, that's Cyborg.
I'm gonna remember that when I have to save you Wednesday nights in our campaign.
I have a BFG. I'll be fine.
Oh, okay.
And so because of that, again, their weapons and their fighting style is a lot of like their personality. And out of all the 5, Sabra probably has the least story or time in these 30 pages. He has a much bigger part in the second book, but he's kind of the one that's really in the background. Why the rest of them? I mean, it is more Meir than anybody, but and again, each comic there'll be different things because it's a team. There'll be a comic where Zune's the star, or where Chiru's the star, or Adelburn, or even a story arc, just depending on their traits, their talents, and what's going on. So,
Gelth says that they've saved the campaign and they'll have to buy it next paycheck. The cheapest 15 USD jumps to 50 Aussie dollar reduce.
I know, and that was a thing too with the shipping, and it's just terrible. Like we released it at the worst time. Just the economy and everything. It's just
and that's what Gelth was
hey,
actually asking.
5 gallons of gas will get you this book plus shipping.
Right? Oh my gosh.
I know.
Gelth was asking, when you do international shipping, are you using anything other than USPS?
We actually are using we're not doing it ourselves. Where's Derek? Derek, who's doing our shipping? We're
Derek, save it.
Yeah, I know,
save
save
it right now. He doesn't remember.
Because I can't. Well, because we had 2 different people's in mind, And in my head, I'm like, wait, am I going to say the wrong person or the
Critical
right
Blast.
person? Yeah, Critical Blast. Yeah, it is Critical
Hey!
Blast. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So Gelth, yeah, Critical Blast is experienced in this, and will get it as cheap as possible. But
Oh, there he is. Critical Blast.
Thank you, Derek.
Going to Australia is rough right now, so I'm very sorry. Your dollar dues suck so much. Man.
The reason I think he was saying other than USPS is because I don't think USPS is even delivering to Australia right now. So.
No, USPS shut down delivery to Australia. Some crazy bullshit. But yeah, Critical Blast is good at fulfillment, and he knows what he's doing. So you should be okay once you are able to back it. I know that price point kind of jumps on you, and that sucks. But worst case scenario, there is a digital option, so you could still get it digitally.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Gal. That sucks with Tug. He says Tug still can't send his pack. Yeah. Oh, that's a pain in the ass, man. But yeah. So this is a pretty badass campaign. I like the fact that your characters are so kind of varied. You know, like you said, this is a whole bunch of cultures that are all kind of together, and I like the fact that. I'm not going to say diversity because I fucking hate that word. But you have a very like large compilation of people. I'll say it that way.
Look, I love X-Men and giant size when you got a Russian, a Canadian, an Irishman, a German, an African. Right. That was amazing. I love that. So
well, and that it's so funny too because I know that you've got your female character right here, and I considered cosplaying her, but I was like, yeah, but if you look at Adelburn, he looks like my people. Scandinavian, Norse, Viking type.
Yeah, Russia. I'd say, yeah, Russia.
I was like, I mean, I'm right there with the Scandinavian blood. I feel like I gotta represent. Plus, you know, oddly enough, as if it's any kind of a shock to anybody, I have a lot of armor and fur and things like that around this cosplay realm of mine. So I was like, well, I've got fur. I could do this. This is, by the way, anyone, if my mom is watching, thank you, Mama. This was you did very good on this.
That's awesome.
She sewed the backings together for me and everything while I went back home because she's an insanely awesome mom. And helped out a lot, so thank you very much.
And currently, this is none of them are wearing armor or battle clothes because they're kind of light on their feet. They don't even have horses because they're hunting creatures. You really can't. So this is their kind of normal, I guess you could say, on that day clothing. None of them are. They will have it coming up. We'll all have like actual, like the Meir card. You can actually see what he would look if you go all the way down the stretch go. You see his armor, what he will have. He actually does have it for a page in this book because there's a dream sequence, and you can see him like that. But that's what he look. I kind of think of their armor as like their superhero outfits, and so that's what he would look like. But none of them have it really in the first book.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. And I was gonna say, I love that his everyday involves I couldn't find a giant disc to strap to my chest, unfortunately, but I do like that he's like, yeah, that works. It's like an arm shield that should probably be right here, and he's like, nah, right here, that's where I need it.
Oh, a disc. Okay.
Yeah, I took it like as if someone was like a police officer or military, and they didn't take off their bulletproof because they never know if something was going to come. Like, you never know if there's going to be a beast. So he doesn't want anything to get his...
at the ready just in case something were to happen.
Yeah, so his he knows his organs are the most important outside of his neck, but I mean, he wants to be somewhat comfortable.
Right. That's why he's like, look, I just got fur. Maybe that'll scare them into not knowing where my neck is. Be like, yeah, you can't get it. That's how we got this, right?
Yeah,
He was like, you can't find my neck, and then I'll go for your eye. And he was like, fuck, I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
Next time I'll protect
He learned
the
his
eye.
lesson. Now he's never, he's not taking stuff off.
Jim Cox says, Murphy looks different, freshly shorn.
Yeah, I had my beard let go, but again, like I said, got to look good for the, selling of the house. People see it.
Nice.
It's a whole presentation, so.
Well, this looks like a cool campaign. It sounds like you've got a lot of plans for the future, which is always super exciting. And definitely interested to see kind of what comes next. You know what I mean? I'm excited for the first one, but I know that the first are usually like, this is kind of the setup to get you used to the people, the world, how everything works, which usually means I tend to like the second and third books.
Well, I'll say, this is a first act of a movie, so
okay,
you got a lot of action in it.
All
There's
right.
more action than downtime, but like any first act, is you get a lot of funny and action, and it usually ends with then something serious, and maybe something serious is how the cliffhanger is for the first. So,
what's up, Glenn? Glenn says Shae looks dangerous. Appreciate you. I tried really hard.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, Sai, do you have any other questions for Murph before we wrap up?
No. Looking good. Looking forward to book two. Need the patch.
Yeah, I definitely. And the thing is your logo is super badass. If you could find a way to have that printed on a patch, that'd be so cool.
Oh yeah, that's something that took us years. Like, this first book together, we've worked about it for like 5 years. Like, there's been a lot of rewrites and like hashing out different things that we didn't feel and learning. And the logo, we had so many different logos. We actually had a time where the logo was giving us such a difficulty, we almost changed the name of the book.
Like,
Seriously,
can't find a way to make this look cool.
Yeah, it's different. I mean, because
else.
there's so many things out there, and you think something in your head. That's the one thing that's great about comic books is you could think it's great in your head, but when you see it on paper, it really tells you what works and what doesn't. And it was a while because you don't want to rip off anything, but you also want the logo to have some meaning and stuff, even if people don't see it yet. For things to come, and so, but we are very, very happy with it.
That's awesome. It definitely looks like it'll be a fun book. Like you got a lot of awesomeness ahead. Derek's saying we will find a way to make a patch. We know a guy. His name.
We do have a second logo where it is in a circle.
Oh, okay.
Was kind of the logo we had at first before we did this one. Do I have that?
There's a lot that you have on here that you could do, like even the bird that you have off to the side.
Yeah,
that'd be badass and low key. Like
we've had friends and coworkers be like, "I want a T-shirt of that logo."
Yeah,
and it's
absolutely. I am the merch queen. I fucking love merch. I love designing it. I love buying it. I seriously. I think that almost everyone who has T-shirts out there, I probably have at least one shirt from. And I've got 4 drawers that are just T-shirts at this point.
Yeah.
Because I fucking love a good T-shirt. I love good merchandise. So,
then you'll love our second one because we had so many ideas for this, and we kind of scrapped everything because people said, just be simple, simple, make a very simple campaign. So
for the first one, simple is usually better, and then you can kind of experiment and go a little bit crazier for the second, a little bit crazier for the third, and all of that. So I think that it was the right move. You guys obviously, you definitely hit funding. What I will say, patches usually are affordable and something that you can put into a Gemini mailer without an issue, much like a bookmark or a mini print or things like that.
Yeah.
You can put T-shirts in a Gemini mailer. What I will say is do not ever have a T-shirt as a stretch goal. Have a T-shirt where people have to pay for it. And there's various reasons for that. One of them being cost overall is just a pain in the ass. The other big thing is you don't want to hit a stretch goal and then have to go back and try and get all of your backers to give you a size.
Oh man, never even thought of
because
that.
it's hard enough to get your backers to respond with their addresses just to get shipped off to them. Trying to get every single backer to give you a size for a t-shirt is a nightmare and a half. Sumo, hush your mouth, we always need patches. How dare you, sir? But yeah, t-shirts are something that definitely, if you want them for the campaign, you can make a tier that is t-shirts where it has the drop down of, like, if you have multiple colors, which color do they want? It has a drop down of what size do they want before they ever back it. And then you just make sure that you have things like your books, your mini prints, and things like that also as add-ons. So you can get a t-shirt and then in the add-on department get a book and a print and whatever, and kind of build your own bundle that way.
Since you guys love patches so much, do the fans of that, would they rather be able just to buy the patch rather than it actually being a stretch goal?
It depends. It's I know that a lot of people really enjoy getting patches. I don't know how many people enjoy buying patches.
Yeah.
But then there's also, you're always going to run into, hey, I sent all of this stuff like as stretch goals for people, and a lot of these other people don't care. So usually what I would do, if you're not going to make it a stretch goal and you're going to make it something that people purchase, bundle it with, like, make a merch pack where it's okay, so you can get coasters and keychains and a patch and a trucker hat or something like that, or a pen or whatever, and have that be like an add-on bundle or its own tier where people can go and, okay, I want to have all of this merch because I really want like 2 or 3 of the things in it.
Derek, I posted it in the chat a few minutes ago.
And Derek, don't worry, I'm going to send it. I'll send it as well, because it's the person that we used for our patches on the back of our jackets is phenomenal. We recommend them to everybody. Customer service has always been great, and I'll recommend them until somebody tells me otherwise. And just to give you an idea, like, those patches have a sublimation dyed background. They have metallic thread for the sword. They kept all of the detail for all the individual feathers and everything. There's a lot that went into that patch. Now, granted, these patches are 15 inches each, so they were expensive as fuck. But that's because I only ordered 2 of them, and they were huge. Yeah. It's custompatchesonline.com. Tony is the guy that we used to, that at least we talk to all the time. And they're used to doing, like, military unit kind of patches and things like that. So they're used to things having to look like what they are. Because I don't know if you've seen... I've been in the military for 16 years. I've had patches that I have to squint to understand what the hell this was supposed to be, because people went cheap, and I'm like, this is a wolf. Are you sure? It was like, it's a gray blob with an eye. It doesn't look like, nothing about this screams wolf. These guys are the ones that do the ones where you're like, that is fucking badass, and I want that on like everything. So
because when you were talking about patches, I was thinking of all small patches that people put like on book bags, but you even need, like, do people want big batches like that they could put? Or
do not do a big patch.
It would not be cost effective on a campaign at all.
Those ones were over $100 each. Do not do that. Do the ones, usually when you're talking about like when we talk about patches, I'm talking about the patches that you put on. The reason we have those jackets is for the smaller patches for comic campaigns. We are loading them up with a bunch of different patches that we got from a bunch of other campaigns that we love. I would say between probably 1 to 3 inches for most of them. I wouldn't go much bigger.
Usually 2 or 3 inches. In terms of a patch, the biggest patch we've seen on a campaign, I think, is probably Jason's, which was I think 5.
Yeah, Jason's was 4 or 5 inches, and it was. I mean, it's sizable. It looks really cool, and there's a lot of people who do bigger patches. But it depends on what you're doing and how much detail is in it. because the smaller you make something that's really detailed, the more muddled it becomes. And so there's certain things that would require you to do a bigger patch. Like if you were to do Ballad of the Celestials and actually try to get them to do all of the lightning and the gradient, they could maybe do a sublimation print gradient. But if you were to do that, you wouldn't be able to go smaller than 5, I don't think, without losing all of that detail.
Yeah, okay.
I would probably pick something simpler, like the bird off to the side.
Yeah.
That would look really badass. You could even do something like that with some of their specialty threads, where you do like glow in the dark, or you do metallic threads. So you could do it where it's a black background with black thread on it, but do the black thread metallic, and so it shines. There's a lot of cool stuff that you can do, and they work really well with people to get you something that's going to make you happy. But I would try to do something that's easier to replicate, because you've got a lot of fine detail in your logo that would make it a little bit more tricky.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Man, there's so much to learn about this. I can't believe, like, when me and Derek started this, we were just going to go to, like, we both live in Ohio, so we were just going to go to, like, city Comic-Cons and do it, you know, just in person. We kind of fell into Comicsgate and the whole YouTube independent comics.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing. Like, I don't think people realize, like, there's a lot of things to learn. Like, you would think for a business, this would be an easier business than others. You know, it's easy. It's not easy, but to make the book, I think, is at least easier than selling it and copyrights and doing all the business part. There's a lot to learn. Like, even for our video, we got the video with like 7 days till launch because we completely forgot about it, doing everything else. It's like, oh, we need a video for Indiegogo. So
yeah, and that's the problem with how all of this kind of goes down in indie comics, is that you do have to be a jack of all trades, and not everyone is, especially creative types. Creative types are usually not good at also sitting down and organizing things in spreadsheets and doing cost analysis.
That's why I have Derek. So even when I can't think of something, Derek, I need you. And so Derek.
That's why you need a good team, and that's why a lot of people hire project managers, because you have project managers who are really, really good at that, and you can be creative, and they could be like, stop overspending, and you can be like, oh, okay, our bad, like, and go from there. Sumo Thori says, if we're taking merch suggestions, I miss those pens where the clothes disappear when you flip them over. I shit you
Was
not.
it Aerith?
I just had a campaign. No, it was Zombie Tramp.
Oh, yeah.
Zombie
I
Tramp
remember you just got it.
fulfilled, and
Yeah.
when you turn it over, she's nude.
Sumo, which of the 5 characters are you interested in?
Yeah, I was gonna say, exactly who is it that you want to
Yeah.
be
The dinosaurs.
nude from this campaign? Exactly. Do the dinosaurs, but have him in a bikini, like a ridiculous floral bikini, and then when you tip it upside down,
Yellow
they're just
polka dot.
normal. Yes. Oh my gosh, a yellow polka dot bikini. That would be perfect. All right. Well, this has been awesome. I'm glad that we were able to give you a little bit of our knowledge. If you have any other
thank you so
questions,
much.
feel free. I mean, this is, how many episodes have we done now, Sai?
I'm gonna say 310.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's definitely over 300 episodes. So we've had a lot of people on with a lot of cosplays. Usually they don't fail quite as hard as this one did. But
It's still in one piece.
it is, and it's drying nicely over on the side. But if you have any other questions, feel free to hit us up. We do have a lot of experience with this kind of stuff, and really happy we were able to have you join us. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you. Oh, this has been great. Honestly, the sales we got was just from going on people's YouTubes. That's the best way to, you know. And we're actually thinking of taking it off Indiegogo. We might take it off Indiegogo in like 2 weeks, just to then kind of rear down and get everything, you know, not trying to pay attention to it. And so we probably will in about 14 days actually take it down, and then either do a website, or that's something too, learning like Shopify and things like that too. Like, long-term things. So
Yep, absolutely. It gets it can spiral quickly, but I would just say one of the biggest things is communication. Make sure that you're letting your audience know, like, hey, this is only going to be up for another 2 weeks. If you really want to get in on it and help out the campaign, get in on it now. I don't know when we'll have a website up. I don't know if it'll be before we launch book 2. It may not. You may have to wait until book 2 in order for you to get book 1. But kind of give people a little bit of that FOMO, so if they were interested in it and holding off on it, they've got a little bit of time. And if you give 2 weeks, then that gives people like Gelth, who heard about it today and are interested in getting it, that gives them a little bit of time to have another paycheck hit, and so they can actually get in on it. So I would tweet it out, or however you're going to push it out there, and just let people know, like, I think mid-July or end of July, we're going to take it down so we can focus on fulfillment. So make sure that you get in on it.
Well, I understand, because you almost try to, especially because there's so much good stuff out there. It's like you don't want to miss something, but it's like you don't have the money right now. I'm going to do it in a couple weeks, and then you could easily forget about something.
Oh, yep. Absolutely. Glenn says 1 month in demand is enough for the latecomers. And that's a good point. If you are getting to the point where you're about to have fulfillment happen, it's always good to kind of, hey, we're going to have this up for X amount more weeks, and then we're going to shut it down, and that'll be that, so we can get on fulfillment. If you're going to have something where it's, still got months of stuff that you're working on, leaving it up a little bit longer, and so it can potentially earn you income, is also not a bad thing. It really just kind of depends on you, how much you want to dedicate to it, how much they're going to take from you for keeping it up and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's true too. Yeah. Starts to where you lose money.
Yeah, when you start losing money, it's time you got to take it down before then. But yeah, I'm really happy we were able to get you on and to talk with you. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Y'all are beautiful people. We love you so much. So please make sure that you share out this campaign if you have already backed it. If you haven't, get in on this. Come on, back it now while you can. And then also, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to Red Valkyrie. Potentially maybe become a member. We've also got our epic merch over at redvalkyrie.net/merch, or you can go check out redvalkyrie.net for our cosplay gallery, our calendar, all kinds of stuff. Oh my gosh, 305 Red Valkyrie Presents episodes. Holy hell. So many. But we absolutely love doing this, and you guys are the reason that we're here. So thank you all so much for hanging out with us. Thank you to our guests. Thank you to Cyborg. You're always amazing. And we will see you guys at 8 o'clock tonight for The Exiled with Adam Lawson. Hell yeah. Check you later.
Bye.
Good night.